Okay. Good afternoon, viewers, wherever you are. As part of the Nehru Memorial Museum and Library Fellow Presentation, we have today Dr. Muhammad Sohrabuddin to present his paper titled Out Migration in Uttarakhand. Dr. Sohrabuddin just completed his fellowship at Team Murti. Now, as we know, migration in Uttarakhand is an ongoing phenomenon, and therefore the topic is one of contemporary significance. Almost, if you look at some of the data released, almost 50% villages in the last 10 years in Uttarakhand have left their various panchayats and blocks for jobs permanently and some temporarily. Now, is this outflow of people from Uttarakhand a crisis? I think this is something that Dr. Sohrabuddin would definitely explore. Will it require a certain policy approach that would draw back the migrants to Uttarakhand? A lot of the youth, students in particular, job seekers in particular will agree that this migration is a natural phenomena to happen when there is no development that can give them job and security. So the issue of the flow being reversed is significant. Few years ago, the Uttarakhand Chief Minister Trivendra Rawatji and I had met him in January this year, and we had a brief conversation on this very critical issue of migration. He told me and many of us that he had set up a Rural Development and Migration Commission to examine this phenomena. And I'm sure Dr. Sohrabuddin would like to reflect a bit on the Commission's report. The focus of Dr. Sohrabuddin's paper is that out migration is a response to the changing environment. Now, it must be remembered that Uttarakhand is an ecologically fragile, flood and earthquake prone state that frequently witnesses disasters. And this has an enormous impact on migration, I think. So, to reflect more on how environment stress causes migration in Uttarakhand, I request Dr. Sohrabuddin to present his paper in about 40 minutes. Dr. Sohrabuddin.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Respected chairperson, participants, distinguished personnel and fellow and friends of Nehru Memorial. At the outset, I would like to express my gratitude to all of you. With your kind permission, I shall read my paper. The title of my paper is Out Migration in Uttarakhand, the Role of Environmental Factors. Human mobility is an age-old phenomenon driven by several factors. People have moved other places throughout history due to several reasons. They have moved in search of better economic and employment opportunities due to political disorder, to escape conflict and social persecution, or in combination of natural hazards and environmental degradation affecting their livelihoods. It is not always possible to identify the principal causes of migration. It is instead the complex interplay between social, political, economic, cultural, and environmental factors that causes in population movement. The rural outmigration is a common incident in Uttarakhand, particularly the hill district. Studies on migration indicate substantial and growing male outmigration from the region. The main reason, the main reason of such migration is economic backwardness of the region, where outmigration and economic underdevelopment reinforce each other and produce a vicious circle further accelerating the process of underdevelopment. What is more important is that the nature, causes, and patterns and consequences of migration have changed over time. Previously, one young people moved out to the urban for earning, leaving rest of the family members at their native villages. They had close relations with their family members and often sent money, which is called quote unquote a money order economy. Presently, the large number of people permanently migrated, leaving their village abandoned. As a result, many densely populated villages have become sparsely populated and some have transformed into ghost villages. However, present paper reveals that outmigration is not an unusual thing, but often a response to fragile environment and livelihood uncertainty. Apparently, the reason of migration is socio-economic, though several other causes are associated with this, particularly the recent environmental stress has made the situation worse. Even migrated people who rarely recognize the role of environment as a driver of migration, except those who are the climate victims. Almost every scholar has mentioned socio-economic and other causes that led the migration. The present paper discusses how environmental causes lead this migration outflow. There are diverse socio-economic and cultural factors which led the process of migration. The common reason mentioned by the scholars are low income, unemployment, persistent poverty, and other factors that push the migrants out from their habitat with promises of better livelihood opportunities. The people of central Himalayas largely practices subsistence agriculture. Usually production is nominal. Thus, the many people cope with the food insecurity and malnutrition. Further, people are deprived from their fundamental rights of jal, jungle, and jameen, water, forest, and land. The Forest Act of 1980 has diminished the right of rural people to use the substantial substantial forest products, mainly fodder and fuel. As a result, livestock farming, which is another supplementary source of livelihood, has decreased. These factors also have manifested out migration. The geophysical constraints have traditionally been put factors of migration, low infrastructure facilities, low production from farming, unemployment, rough terrain, harsh climate conditions are considered as other major push factors. In addition, abandonment of villages has caused land degradation, making village unlivable, which also has led of migration. It has been noticed that the enormous changes in the crop patterns in the valleys of mid altitude, the decline of crop productions and crop failure further accelerated the migration. It has been noticed that in rural areas where agriculture is sustainably practiced, the rate of out migration is low. In addition, the population pressure on arable land has led to food shortage and malnutrition. That is another reason of uh, out migration. On the other hand, in the district of Haridwar, Dehradun, and Udham Singh Nagar, where agricultural lands are fertile and where infrastructural facilities have developed, become densely populated, hence there a large number of in-migration took place. The Economic Times report since the census of 2011, 734 villages in Uttarakhand have become populated, out of which 14 are within the aerial distance of 5 kilometers from the border area. Shekhar Phatak has mentioned that the villages have lost their vibrancy with the depopulation. The out-migration has resulted the decline of certain classes of people and livelihood, which has negative impact on other sections of the community. The decline of traditional occupations further led the out-migration. The blacksmith, stoneworker, carpenter, and other traditional occupations suffered a setback, and youth of their families were searching other jobs, and finally they shifted other professions. A survey, a survey on Ramgarh catchment area conducted by Prakash Tiwari and Bhagavati Joshi, they have shown the climate change has increased in the trend of rural outmigration in the entire decade. Increasing incident of extreme weather events and resultant crop failure have been the most important reason of outmigration in the region. The migration is of both a temporary and permanent nature. In 2001, only 701 people out-migrated from the region, whereas the number of out-migrants in 2013 was 2,425, for an overall increase of 41%. Out of total number of people living between 2001 and 2013, 32% migrated on a permanent basis, whereas 68% migrated temporarily with their families and eventually they returned to the area. Human animal conflict has become another reason why the people are relocating other places due to sparse population and reduced farming activities, while animals often enter in the human settlements, destroy crops and livelihood, crop, destroy crops and livestock. The increasing human-animal conflict and invasive species are another constant of culture in mountains. Over the years, the large number of deers, monkeys, and leopards have entered in the villages nearby forest and often damages agricultural crops. This has led to the human-animal conflict. A study carried out by the state government's agricultural department reveals that about 30 to 70% of crop damage are occurred by wild animals. As a result, a large number of people have discontinued agriculture and finally relocated elsewhere, leaving their agricultural land uncultivated. Thus, uncultivated land became good habitat for wild animals and invasive species. The incidence of human-animal conflicts have increased in recent times, though the human-animal conflict is not a new thing in the mountain region, and the local people know better to deal with the problem. Uh, These mechanisms are deeply rooted in community initiatives which have collapsed due to massive out-migration. Earlier, each family had at least one dog. So, when the wild animals tried to enter in the village, all the dogs were set free to chase them. But now the dogs animals has reduced with the population in the villages. The farmer usually placed the humanoid scarecrows in the open field to discourage the wild animals. Another traditional measures were taken to keep the monkeys away from the field, included planting fruit trees and crops inside the forest. To prevent wild animals, people made biofencing using bushy creeping plants outside of their field. In the same way, they burned bow down, hung saris at the village boundary, and hung bales around the field. In the same way, they kept watch at night with torch and wooden sticks during the harvesting seasons. However, the success of such methods depends on participation of entire villagers together. Several monopanchayats, several, uh, several monopanchayats took such initiative to protect crops from the wild animals. Depopulation due to out migration makes these traditional practices ineffective. Meanwhile, recently the population of a few wild animals have increased largely, but their habitat has degraded, which in turn has led the human wildlife conflict. Citing the report of Wildlife Institute of India, Vishwambar Soti, Vishwambar Prasad Soti mentioned that on an average 50 people are killed every year by leopards. The population of the wild bears have already increased in recent past. The incident like damages of crops and crops field by the monkeys and other wild animals have increased. These in turn has forced the rural people to migrate elsewhere. Ganesh Dattobhat, a Bhat village of Takula development block in Almora district, has observed his village has become emptier and emptier over the past 4 decades. The problem is so severe that the 61-year-old Ganesh Dattobhat had to migrate despite his age. Now he runs a small shop in Almora. He said when he was 15, there are 100 old families in the village, but due to limited and poor facilities, people started leaving the village in early 1980s. Now barely 35 old families are living there. Earlier, people cultivated crops. Monkeys, pigs, and other animals have barely ever destroyed that. Now the situation has changed. Now it is not viable to live in that village anymore. Ganesh Girish Chandra Bhatt, the Gram Pradhan of the same village, agreed with Ganesh and said it has become difficult to engage even in the traditional occupation of animal husbandry due to scarcity of grass, as farming and animal husbandry has become the only source of livelihood. The village also faces water crisis too, as the natural sources in the mountains have dried up and the monsoon has become erratic. Earlier people were so happy, but now the things are different. The traditional sources of livelihood are shrinking in the hills that the people are migrating. The changes in rural landscape, desertion of land and ruined settlement are great concern in Uttarakhand. It has been observed in the regions like Pauri and Theori, where rate of out migration is high. A large population of large proportion of arable land has been abandoned, infested with shrubs. On contrary, the urban centers are flourishing fast and becoming in-migration hotspots. These urban hubs are located in the roadside and river valleys, which are vulnerable to landslides and natural disasters. Unplanned expansion of urban areas and slums had made so many problems. In addition, excessive population pressure made the situation more complex. Particularly, the poor sanitation is one of the big problems. to contaminate the upstream water. For example, the in-migration caused rapid urban growth in Doon Valley. The Doon Valley has observed an increase of 44% population per decade since 1960. In Dehradun city, the population has increased by 55.9% during the period between 1991 and 2011, which is higher than national average of 31.16% and state average of 30.55%. The hill districts adjoining to the Dehradun have witnessed a fourfold increase of in the number of towns. In the same way, the population of the Kotadar town has increased by 208% during the period 2001 and 2011. In the urban areas, the urbanization grew up rapid pace because of growing population. Hence, the cropland have hence the adjacent cropland have been converted into concrete jungle. Previously, Doon Valley was world famous for the growing of substantial aromatic basmati rice. The grain is, popularly known as the Dehraduni basmati, which is not found elsewhere. At present, the cultivation of original variety of basmati does not exist anywhere in the Doon Valley. In Dehradun, the city has witnessed a terrific immigration where the number of slabs has increased from 27 to 113 in recent time. In recent past, the Rispana River, which was the source of pure drinking water to the Dehradun city, is currently dying as a large number of poor migrants have settled along the river, making the river water contaminated. As they reside mainly along the seasonal stream, water pollution has become another major issue. Water is very important source for agriculture. Recently, it has been an extremely scarce resource in the mountain region. The climate change has deeply impacted these resources. The changes in rainfall patterns and increasing temperature has produced profound impact on agriculture and livelihood. The farmers in mountain areas have experienced hardship to practice their traditional agricultural crops. In recent times, depletion in water sources seems to be a reason of migration, though there has been no study on correlation between the draining of water sources and migration. It has been observed that where the rate of out migration is high, the region have witnessed the depletion in water sources. Down to our reports one of such story of water crisis in the Almora area. Sunil Singh, a villager from Chaukutia Tehsil in Almora, explained that earlier there was no shortage of water, but recently there has been a seasonal shortage of even drinking water. The agriculture has declined due to water shortage, and many people have left villages due to this. As agriculture in the hill region is primarily rain-fed and irrigation capacity is only limited to the plain. Robi Chopra explained that streams and natural springs are only water source for agriculture in the hill areas and hills of the state. The recent years, there has been an unprecedented drying up of stream and natural streams, which have created a water stress in several areas. Environmental change might have direct and indirect impacts on migration. This has contributed to wide anxiety over anxiety over the depletion of natural resources of the mountains in recent years. Environmental factors, which in turn also have led the inhabitants to abandon their homes or areas of habitual residence. Similarly, the trend of migration has an adverse effect on societal as well as environmental changes, though very locally. These implications have been noticed in the recent times as the several villages have become virtually uninhabited. As a result, the cultivable land turned into underground jungles and densely populated areas have turned into sparsely populated ones. Such depopulation had been common features in the remote areas in Uttarakhand. The inhabitants left their villages abandoned. The idea of ghost village, quote unquote, the ghost village is now a reality in Uttarakhand. The situation is so severe that more than 700 villages have been deserted in 10 years. The severity of the situation can be gauged from the census of 2011 data that Uttarakhand's 1600 7,093 villages, one, uh, one of them, uh, 1,053 have no more inhabitants, and another 405 have a population of less than 10. The number of ghost villages has reportedly increased, particularly after the earthquake and flash floods of 2013. Usually, the mountain regions of Uttarakhand are often affected by sudden onset of disaster. Indeed, the state stands an extremely difficult position to cope with the impact of the global warming because its low resilience due to widespread and extreme dependence on subsistence agriculture and resource-based livelihoods. Perhaps the worst disaster which Uttarakhand has experienced so far was the sudden onset of flash flood in June 2013, which we know which is uh, popularly known as the Kedarnath disaster, which resulted the death of several thousands of people, loss of livestock and property. The unprecedented weather event that led to the disaster was heavy rainfall coupled with glacier melting. Frequent natural disasters experienced in Uttarakhand have led to grand uncertainties in the hill agriculture, eventually resulting in a high rural out migration. The tragedy of devastating flash floods in June 2013 is often spoken. The state has witnessed another lesser known tragedy in the aftermath of the flood that went largely unspoken, which in turn another wave of migration that turned several thousand of hamlets into ghost villages. The number of such ghost villages has reportedly increased, particularly after the devastating flood of 2013. One such climate victim is Deepa Kumari, a 30-year-old farmer hailed from Pithoragarh district in the Himalayan state of Uttarakhand. She now lives in a slum of South Delhi's Mangalpuri area with her three children. The devastating flash floods which killed her husband, the widow finally landed up in the national capital with her children after selling off her small piece of farmland and 2 cows at nominal price. Many of our relatives have already shifted to Delhi. Deepak Kumari does not want to go back to her home. Many people like Deepak Kumari have left their home to seek relief from in the plains. Now I come into the conclusion. Depopulation is a great concern of rural areas in the central Himalayas, and it has become a serious issue in Uttarakhand. A massive out migration from the hills to plains has been reflected in the census of 2011. Most of the scholars has mentioned the socio-economic and other causes that led the migration. Migration, though the migration is not an unusual thing, but often a response to fragile environment and that those uncertainty. Particularly the recent environmental stress has complicated this already complex picture. Even migrated people who rarely recognize the role of environment as a trigger of migration, except those of migrant, uh, uh, except those of climate victims. Environmental causes lead this migration outflow direct or indirect way over the last decade. Local, okay, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation, Dr. Shwabuddin. I think you made some very interesting observations. Um, I won't sum up this very interesting presentation, but just would like to say, based on certain facts, that during the pandemic lockdown, a large number of workers returned to Uttarakhand, about almost 3.5 lakhs, according to some surveys and data. And I think it is um, the government, the state government is determined that these migrant workers who've come back to Uttarakhand should not go back again. So, you know, it's a it's a huge task, I think, for the government. But Uttarakhand also would require some important policy initiatives, I think, when it comes to climate actions. I think the Uttarakhand Action Plan for Climate Change is an important document in which the government has to think about sustainable development, has to think about uh, livelihood opportunities, will have to think about resource management, and they have to think about it in very integrated fashion. So it's a huge challenge, but to overcome this challenge, the tools have to be very different. The tools have to be more knowledge based, more scientifically driven, and the policy responses has to be far more integrated, I think. And I think you would agree with that. And I hope when the paper comes out, these things will be brought in and enrich the whole action plan approach in Uttarakhand. So thank you very much, Dr. Sharabuddin, for this excellent presentation. I enjoyed listening to it and noted down some very important observations that you have made. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, all of you.